check them in. Sunglasses. You check them in. You check them in. The Nazis were left-wing socialists. My street. Look under these, look like Nazis.
What's brought you out here today?
I'm an Oldham resident, and this hotel is in Oldham. Already it's caused antisocial behaviour, just like all the rest of the hotels around the country. That's why I'm here.
What are some of the examples of the antisocial behaviour?
I'm being told off local residents that are flashing at them in the windows, and they're putting their hands up like that, and then doing things like that here. Already, the railway pub round the corner, they had a blade pulled out inside the pub, and there's been reports of people being intimidated and leered at Morrison's round the corner. And that was all within a month of the hotel opening. And I don't know if you know, but other activists come here the other week and they claimed that there was a call centre in the back of the hotel, and the restaurant is on full bloom making food. Probably for Deliveroo or something like that hotel in Wakefield. So yeah, I've got issues with all that.
And where would you want them to go if not a hotel?
Actually, I want them to stay in the hotels, but I don't want them to go out. I'd secure them, me, and have fencing round them. Our party policy is to accept no more refugees or asylum seekers for British citizenship. And you'll get a limited amount of time to sort your details out and go home. If you don't, you get a 3-year prison sentence. And I'd just keep them here locked up until they went home, mate.
On the other side, there's claims that last week people were chanting, there's no black in the Union Jack. Did people say that? And if they did, would you support that?
I don't know nothing about that, really. I wasn't here last week. And I don't know what they mean, there's no black in the Union Jack. The Union Jack covers all our colonies as well. So really, that's a bit backwards if they're going to be saying that. So,
do you want to tell us a little bit more about your party?
Right, yeah. Nationalising Pie, running in local elections. I'm running in Oldham. I'm confident of getting a local council seat. We're against immigration. We want to stop. We want to end permanent settlement to the UK. We don't want to kick anyone out who's a British citizen, but we don't want to let anybody in. And that's one of our primary policies in our party. And to exit the 1951 Refugee Convention, which has caused a lot of this, because under the convention, you can't be criminalised. If we didn't have that convention, they'd be criminalised and people just won't be coming over on boats. But our authorities and our government are so wet wipes and soft that they just open the door and let anybody in. We just want to stop that.
So would you criminalise any asylum seeker who tries to make it over by boat?
Yeah, unbelievably, yeah. We did it. It was like that before that refugee convention. And if you know anything about the Refugee Convention, it was made because people wouldn't accept certain kinds of refugees in the past. But now everyone's got to accept them and they've got to be processed. It's all in the 1951 Refugee Convention. But if we exited that, it'd be a criminal offence and they'd soon stop coming over on boats. And anyway, it's not that immigration. I'm worried about legal immigration, me. Legal, past few years, we've had hundreds of thousands of people coming into the country. And a lot of them aren't integrating. It's causing big divides within communities. And they're putting, considering what's happened with the Epping Hotel, they're putting now asylum seekers and refugees of priority over British citizens. And that shouldn't happen. So.
Going back to the ECHR, some people on the other side say if we leave the ECHR, we'll lose other fundamental rights like the right to protest. How would you reply to that?
Well, I haven't mentioned the ECHR. I have mentioned 1951 refugee, but not the ECHR. I do have issues with the ECHR, but that's up to our politicians to iron these issues out with the European Parliament and stuff like that. Because recently, a guy was not sent home because he had a beard because he'd been discriminated against. And that's weak. That's a weak thing. And it wouldn't happen in other countries. That guy would be kicked out. So obviously, we need to look at it. But I would leave it anyway, mate. I'd leave anything that's European-based on them kind of things. But the ECHR isn't the big issue. It's the 1951 Refugee Convention.
Boris Johnson was once offered by France for France to build a processing centre within France so that people weren't as incentivised to take a boat. How would you feel about opening a processing centre there?
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to process. We're not in permanent settlement. We don't want no more refugees or asylum seekers. In an ideal world, they won't be coming here. And so we won't need any kind of processing centre. You know what I mean? And it's a big thing. It might sound a bit negative, but I think it's a fair thing. All the rest of the countries are allowed to have control their borders. In the Gulf states, they're allowed to control their borders. They don't let people in and stuff like that. So why do we have to do it? So that's it.
What do you think about the 14 words?
The 14 words that were made by a Ku Klux Klan guy, weren't it? Or something like that in America. I mean, I've heard other slogans on the left that are as bad as the 14 words. But, I don't use it. And it's always classed as a white supremacy thing because it says about white people in it. It's not something I use or anything like that. Whether it should be illegal, I don't know. I don't think so because, like I said, there's other phrases that you'll get off the left to do with socialism and communism that are nearly as bad as that and sound as terrible as that. So, what do we do? But it's something that I don't use anyway. And I don't promote anyone to use it either within our party. If you're going to use it somewhere else, up to you. But we don't promote that, so.
And what type of nationalist would you class yourself as? Like cultural nationalist, ethno nationalist?
I'm not an ethno nationalist. Cultural nationalist, me. That's what I would say. Christian cultural nationalist. Although I don't agree with any country being predominantly of that people. Nigeria, predominantly Nigeria. Nigeria only have Nigerian people on advertisements. But check that out. But over here, we've got to have everyone except for the kitchen sink on advertisements. Britain's over 70% predominantly white English, so they should be the main people in the country and stuff like that. No, I don't promote that Saudi Arabia has to take in loads of white Christians from Europe. I don't say that. They can have their own borders and their own kind of control. So we should be able to have it over here. And if white English people, want a majority white England, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? I'm all right with it. It was like that in the 2000s, and no one complained then. They're only complaining now. But no, whatever they want, but it's all right for other countries, but it's not all right for England. That's what I see.
What do you say makes you English? Like, if someone comes over from another country and then has children, or would you say it's once you get citizenship? Or would you say your family has to be here for multiple generations?
Well, it'd be multiple generations to be ethnically English. And I mean, my ancestry is Jamaican, half English, Anglo-Saxon, going back 22 generations. So I've got a big history here. But you know, if you're a Japanese person, you come here and you have a kid, that kid's never going to be ethnically English or ethnically British because the Japanese, it's a Japanese ethnicity. Same if white people went to Japan and they had a kid over there, two white people, that kid wouldn't be Japanese, would it? Not ethnically Japanese, would it?
Some people on the other side would say, basically they would bring up the Anglo-Saxons, which lots of people say is the original English, and say that they come from the continent of Europe, meaning the English has always been influenced from other countries, going all the way back to the Roman Empire and things like that, implying that
we're a nation full of immigrants. Well, Anglo-Saxons were 1,000 years ago when they came, and that bloodline is still here, 1,000 years. You know what I mean? And the British are made up of the Celtic, the Anglo-Saxons, and the Normans. And they've been here for 1,000 years on this island, 1,000 years, and no one else has come. It's just them three things. So that makes them English. That makes them ethnically English. 1,000 years they've been here. So, you know, like, if they'd only been here 10 years, then maybe there might be an issue there. 1,000 years we've been Celtic, Norman, and Anglo-Saxon, and that is the English ethnicity and identity.
Anything else you want to close on?
Your difficult questions, you. Okay, how honestly. No, get involved in local politics. That's how we're going to change things. We've left it too long for these numpties who are in control. Even if you're on the left and you're running elections, I give you respect because I know that you want to change things for the better. I don't like the fact that we'll just go on the streets shouting at each other. I want people to get more involved in elections, whether you're left, whether you're right, whether you're centre. Get involved in local elections if you care about your community.
Listen, do you want to start?
So you're okay with, you want to get rid of ones that are funny,
No, I want to have the ones who are fleeing war-torn countries.
but you know, give me a country first of all.
Afghanistan.
When was that been peaceful?
What have we done for Afghanistan?
No, what was the question? When was it? When was Afghanistan? Where was it?
Yeah, because America invaded it, and because we invaded it, and the Russians invaded it as well, actually. Yeah, yeah.
So when have they been peaceful?
For never.
Never.
For about the 70s, yeah.
A long time before that. But so there's a country in the Middle East with no Western values. It's been war torn.
You know how many like the neighbouring countries taken, by the way? Do you know how many they taken? Crazy amounts. Jordan taking a huge. No. Jordan taking about 1 million refugees, and we taking what? Tens of thousands? Tens of thousands? Is it?
There's
Thousands?
You talked about war torn countries.
Yeah.
These people have been at war for centuries. They're never going to stop. So why should we take people from war torn countries? So they're not going to stop.
It's a bit of short side because it's going to spread, isn't it? You don't think it's going to spread?
The wars around the world.
Possibly, yeah.
Who spread the wars?
Well, I mean, there's going to be the environmental issue where it's going to mean that you don't believe in environmental change, but it's going to be more and more refugees coming over. We have to have a system. I agree, that's to be a system. That's to be a system for sure. But all I'm saying is not like go and argue against Islam. I think the guy's a dickhead. But don't go outside where there's families.
But look, here's background.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I used to be a Labour councillor. I can't stand the party now.
Besides CPS, you're more what he was doing when he was 20 years old. He was in the 1980s, bear in mind, you're quite young, but the Iron Curtain existed. There wasn't free passage. He went to Czechoslovakia as a Soviet guest.
I don't think you can say Kyrgyzstan left wing. No one would say Kyrgyzstan left wing. I'm left wing. Kyrgyzstan is not left wing.
He was in Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
1980. There's documents online to prove it.
No one's ever. We are.
Council meetings and
We
stuff,
are.
you know?
We're trying.
Yeah.
But council's always shut us down.
1st of October.
Okay, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay. I just don't see why you'd stand outside by refugees who are just like
You
trying to
hate
get
us being
back.
there, but then people hate being called Nazi
Do you
scum.
live local? I speak to loads of refugees. I spoke to an apparently I spoke to an Afghanistani the other day. He said every man in Afghanistan is safe. He said they're coming over here for economical reasons. That come out of a migrant's mouth.
From Afghanistan?
From
The
Afghanistan.
most war-torn country ever. You admitted it. You admitted it.
I know but it's never been peaceful. So we can't solve their problems by taking their influx.
I get that, but it's good. What's the solution then?
What about
They can sort their own problems out.
what about the statistics? They make up 10.9%.
Sorry, where are you from in Ireland, by the way?
Belfast.
Officer, I want him nicked. Officer, I want him nicked. It's not fine. Officer, I want him nicked.
Listen. Right, let them go. We'll have a conversation. Did you see what I've done then? I didn't see what I've turned around and all I saw is you. So when you don't see the full picture, what can I do?
Yeah, but you don't see the snaps, his phone clean off.
Well, I didn't see that.
Try and grabbing his phone.
Listen, you can upright.
Of
Just let's talk like adults.
I'm talking.
Right, I'm stood there, I turn around, I see you.
Yeah.
I don't see what provoked you, all I see is you. So what does that tell me?
Well, you want to see your side, innit?
Right, so what does that mean then? Right, so in essence what I'll do is lock you up for assault, we'll investigate it. Don't we? Then I get versions of events all over the show. Oh, what we do is, don't react, let us just deal with it. What's the point? But what